right, so I think the first thing I'm going to say here is this Warriors-Nuggets game was the most disappointing game of the season so far. The Warriors blew an 18-point lead late in the fourth quarter with about 5.5 minutes left to eventually lose by 3 points on a buzzer-beating win for the Nuggets, and by Nikola Jokić. He threw up a heave from 40 feet and banks it in, and the Nuggets win 130 to 127. And the Warriors gave up a 25-4 Denver run in the closing minutes of the game and lose to the Nuggets. And the same team, the Warriors, of course, lost barely on Christmas too. And I was thinking to myself, the Warriors are up, 18 points. They won the third quarter. I mean, they outscored the Nuggets by 20 points in the third quarter. And I thought, wow, Pajemski's playing good. The lineup's playing good. This is going to be a good win. But no, the Warriors blew it. And I hate to, knock on Steph Curry too much, but I mean, he turns the ball over late in the game. That doesn't happen. We're probably going to overtime or the Warriors win it in regulation. And, I'm talking about a completely different outcome, but it didn't happen because, Steph Curry threw a skip pass that didn't work and got, the Nuggets just enough time to win the game. And so I'm very, very disappointed in him, but he did lead the team in points and assists. So I'm not going to, be too hard on Steph Curry. He's Steph Curry at the end of the day, but he had 30 points, good for him. But, it's just those closing minutes of the game. Steve Kerr went with a completely different starting lineup. The two rookies were not in the starting lineup. There was no really particular reason, but I think, playing a guy like Jokić, who's so hard to defend, I guess they wanted Looney. So Jackson Davis and Pajemski were not in the starting lineup. Chris Paul took his place. But Pajemski played a great game, and I think it goes to show, whether he's on the bench or in the starting lineup, he's going to be very, very good. He was 50% from the floor, 5 of 10, 3 for 4 from downtown. He also assisted on 5, stole a ball, and scored 13 points. He was -2, but, not really thinking too much about that. But he had a great game. His energy is great. He had his highlight play was a steal right after the Warriors scored, and took it all the way for a layup. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to harp on the negatives too much, but it is a loss, and the Warriors are known to blow leads, and it's been going on for so long. And I feel like when you're playing a team like the Nuggets, a team with championship aspirations just like we do, even though the Warriors right now do not hold a playoff spot, but nonetheless, still early in the season, the Warriors have playoff hopes, championship aspirations, and they're just at this point not getting there. Andrew Wiggins, worst plus-minus on the team tonight, -14. He started out all right, had 11 points, but, I want to see him pick it up a little more. He was 5 of 10 from the floor. Trayce Jackson-Davis didn't play as good tonight as he usually has. We'll see, though. I mean, he did play half the game. He had 4 points. Dario Saric, I thought, played really good. He was +3. He scored 13 points and 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He led the team in rebounds tonight and tied for the assist lead as well. And he's kind of been our third center, but I feel like, really, I mean, maybe try starting Saric game and just see what happens. I don't know, maybe against a team that's easier to beat, but he seemed like going into it that he wouldn't be able to guard Jokić, but honestly, he was the best center tonight of the three between him, Looney, and Jackson Davis. So I really like Saric tonight. Klay Thompson played pretty good as well. He was shooting the 3 ball really well. He was 9 of 18, 4 for 10 on threes, but could have played better down the stretch as well, and the same could be said with Curry. The player of the game for the Warriors, I thought, was Jonathan Kuminga, but Steve Kerr only played him 19 minutes for some odd reason. Jonathan Kuminga himself, in 19 minutes, he scored 16 points, and he's +6 on the court. I mean, if you leave Kuminga, he's 5 of 7. If you leave Kuminga on the floor for, 28 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, I mean, might be a different outcome. He scores that many points, 16 points in 19 minutes. I mean, you extrapolate that, I mean, he's going to score more. He's a versatile, athletic. I mean, there's so many positive things I can say about Kuminga, and I think he needs more minutes. I think he, it was weird just seeing him not get the minutes he deserves, especially being in the starting lineup, but having, 16 less minutes than Klay Thompson at the same, position, essentially. So I don't really understand that at all. I mean, why give Chris Paul 30 minutes but not Kuminga more? I don't get it. But, Steve Kerr, I love him. He's a great coach, but I just don't know sometimes his decisions. And I think tonight the starting lineup, I don't know. I can't complain because the Warriors were winning most of the way, but at the end of the game, it's like, stuff happens because of stuff that, occurs earlier in the game, right? That, could have changed the outcome. So I don't know, but For the Nuggets, they played a good game down the stretch. Did not play great towards the beginning, but they, have a three-headed monster of Murray, Gordon, and Jokić. And Gordon scored 34 for Jokić, including the game winner. He had a double-double with 10 assists, 25 for Murray, and 19 for Watson off the bench. They also feasted off free throws as well, and there were some bad calls in this game. I'm not going to go too hard on that, but there were some bad calls in this game. And that's why they had double the amount of free throws as the Warriors, but that's besides the point, because if I complain about fouls, I guess that's not really a fair thing to talk about. But it happened in both games. The Nuggets are just getting every call, and they're a physical team. They have two big guys, Gordon and Jokić, who just go down the lane, get every foul call, and it's whatever. It's just a game, but I think the NBA has an officiating problem, and the Warriors don't get the free throws anywhere. They don't get anywhere close to it, and there's so many plays that just could be called but aren't. So. Anyways, that's going to do it. 130 to 127. Very disappointed in this team right now. The Warriors will play the Pistons next, and if they don't win that game, I'm not even going to jinx it, but got to beat the Pistons, and they're the worst team in the NBA at 3 wins. So we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts. Very hard game. Give Kuminga more minutes. Free Moses Moody. Honestly, he's not getting any playing time at this point. He's a great young player. Steve Kerr's got to figure some stuff out, but that's going to do it. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys later. Go Warriors.